There's been some big news today with Star Wars Legion. We have a rules reference update and we also have the Mercenary Rules. So let's jump in. So let's look at the Mercenary Rules first. I won't be like just reading this to you. If you want to check this out, it will be on the Atomic Mass Games website, but I will try and do a quick TLDR for you. One key thing is that there is no additional cost to adding a mercenary unit into your regular factioned army. That means you're not going to be paying a premium for any unit. You literally just pay the price that it says on the card. But there are some restrictions to how many you can add. So mercenary units do not count towards the minimum for your ranks. So for example, if you take a core mercenary unit, you still then need to have 3 normal core units for your rebels or imperials, etc. You're allowed to take up to 2 core mercenary units and then 1 mercenary unit of any of the other ranks. For example, a Galactic Empire army that includes 1 or more Black Sun Enforcer units must field at least 3 non-mercenary core units, and they cannot field a combined number of core units greater than 6. So they don't count to your minimum, but they do count to your maximum, if that makes sense. You can't just field all mercenaries unless you're running one of the new battle forces, i.e. the Shadow Collective battle force. For your faction tokens, if you're using a mercenary force like the Shadow Collective, then you use the mercenary token. If, for example, though, you're using Imperials and you've got some mercenaries in your list, then they use the Imperial tokens. You all use just the one type. It's not like you have different backs. That's basically so that you could have them on the table and then you wouldn't know where they were. It also means that if you get a core token, you can then use either the mercenary units or your normal core unit. These are the current affiliations you can have: Black Sun, Pike Syndicate, Raiders, Rogues, and Maul Loyalists. A unit with an affiliation can be issued orders only by a friendly unit that has the same affiliation. So if you have a Black Sun core unit, they can only be issued commands by a Black Sun commander, for example. I have seen this posted on the Discord today, basically a flowchart which sort of explains it. Now we'll talk about allies of convenience in a minute, but basically you can look at this and then you can determine if you can or can't order it. It sort of makes this look more complicated than it is. But basically, if your commander isn't a mercenary, we go down the right path. But if they're trying to issue an order to a mercenary, then that's not allowed. If it's not a mercenary, then that's just normal, you know, a non-mercenary with a non-mercenary unit, fine. If, however, your commander is issuing an order that is a mercenary, they can also give orders to non-mercenaries. So they could then just give an order to your standard core troops, for example. But if they are trying to give an order to a mercenary, well, then they can only do it at the same affiliation. They can't do it if it's a different affiliation, like Black Sun can't issue a unit to Maul's cronies, if there are Maul's cronies, I don't know. Now, weirdly, I sort of feel like this Allies of Convenience should be off this one, but if you are not a mercenary and you're trying to issue an order, but you have Allies of Convenience, then you can do it. It seems really complicated, but I'm sure, like, once you think about it, it'll make sense. And then this section just really explains what we sort of already knew about battle forces. One key thing, obviously, which should have gone without saying, but if you basically have an army consisting entirely of mercenary units, then they do count towards your minimum, which obviously makes sense, otherwise it wouldn't work. Now, a quick thing before we carry on, there's no update to the errata and there's no update to the points adjustment. There are 2 questions on the forum though, if you're interested, check them out. We do, however, have an update to the rules reference. Now, I'm not going to just read these out to you, there's too many, and I actually don't really understand every single change here because, quite frankly, I've not played enough games in recent weeks and months. The key one that I think a lot of you will be considering is the Allies of Convenience. And it says units with the Allies of Convenience keyword may issue orders to friendly mercenary units regardless of affiliation. So if you are a Black Sun commander with that, you can issue it to any mercenary unit. Additionally, when building an army, you may include 1 extra mercenary unit in your army regardless of rank. However, if you have multiple of them, you can't get multiple of the same rank. I just quickly want to point out the wound keyword, which I really don't know anybody who's got it. I'm sure there is, you guys can tell me. I said I've not really been following the game enough recently, but basically the first time a unit with the wound X keyword enters play, that unit suffers X wounds. I don't know why I just found that funny. So that's it. I'm not going to go on for hours and hours and hours. You guys can go and read it. You guys, if you're super hardcore, you'll know all the details way quicker and better than I do. And if you're a casual like me, then, you know, you can just check it out. Let me know your thoughts though in the comments below. Have a most beautiful day. Like and subscribe. Goodbye.